East Bay Bike Path is a 14.5-mile trail that runs through 5 towns: Providence, East Providence, Barrington, Warren, and Bristol. It was built between 1987 and 1992, and while it was originally met with a lot of resistance, today it is loved by the many who use it. We want to see just what people love about the bike path, so we asked a few ecoRI readers some questions about it.
My name is Catherine Lang, and I bike on the bike path.
My name is Kate Pisano, and I live in Warren, Rhode Island, and my whole family uses the bike path pretty much every week for running, walking, biking, just getting outside whenever we can.
My name is Sam Radoff. I am a native Rhode Islander, and I am from Newport, but now I live in Providence, and I often use the bike path as a means of getting from one of those two cities to the other.
My name is PJ Dopke. I use the bike path, I would say almost every day, if not 5 days a week, in any weather above 50 degrees. You know, I think whether it's parks, whether it's bike path, whether it's anything, people tend to forget about, you know, what it means to everybody and think about, like, not in my backyard. So it's not even slightly surprising.
I could see people resisting having like any sort of development, because you are pretty close to a lot of residential areas in some parts of the path. So I could see people not being thrilled about having something literally in their backyard, but definitely no crime. It's so safe. I feel really safe at any time of day there.
I guess in some ways yes, and in some ways no, right? Big change like that is always gets a little bit of opposition. So I can see how people were concerned about, you know, impacts to the area, but clearly it's been an amazing resource. So I'm glad that, you know, people came around to it.
I think in general, people don't like change. Obviously, crime is code word for poor for a lot of people, and I don't think it's surprising whatsoever that some people would be afraid of that. Do I agree with them? No. I think it's a very unfortunate perspective, but people in general just don't like change.
What makes it special is definitely the diverse views that you get from being on the path. So you start out in the city, and then you go through like some industrial areas, and then you have these incredible marshes, and then you end up at a beach, and you also go through residential communities. I love the changing sceneries. I think a lot of bike paths in New England are wonderful, but will go through primarily wooded areas, which are also great. But I really like on the East Bay that you get such a different view, like, you know, every few miles you're in a totally different area.
I think it's an easy way to just escape sometimes. You know, I'm not so far away from a great view or a quiet place, and that wouldn't be the case if there wasn't a bike path there.
Yeah, so when I grew up here, I remember when they built it, the funny thing was at the time in the 80s, it was like, why would I need a path for a bike? There's a street. It was kind of like, okay, weird. And our favorite thing to do was to ride to Riverside Square. There's an old train station building, and that used to be where it ends. It's where Boreal's Coffee is now. And we'd ride all the way out to Bristol on our little BMX bikes, which have one speed, and then we'd ride all the way back, and that was like a big deal. So I have all those memories from when I was a kid, and now I make new ones with my son. He's a little over 3, and like, he loves it. So every time I ride it, I think about, like, this is the same spot I was at 30 years ago with my buddies on my little BMX bike. And now I'm here with my little buddy.